Proceeding with the discussion of the resolution about the illicit trafficking of artistic heritage. So, Mr. Mastico, you have the floor.
Recalling the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organizations, UNESCO, Convention of the Means of Prohibiting and Preventing Illicit Import, Export, and Transfer Ownership of Cultural Property in 1997. Convinced that illicit trafficking of cultural heritage is a major problem in all countries affected by it, since it harms both their culture and their economy. Believing that the positions taken in the previous UNESCO conventions on the topic brought
Sorry, Delegate, can you move reading directly your parapet closest, please?
To the urges to implement internet control in order to identify trades of stolen goods. Suggests to promote the knowledge of UNESCO cultural heritage law database. A. By giving lectures secondary school exposing the seriousness of the problem. B. Advertising the social issue in order to inform the public of the damage that is This problem causes to the country, focusing especially on legal measures that can be taken against who is involved in illicit trafficking of cultural heritage. 3. Further suggests to promote the online stolen cultural property database and inform the public about it. 4. Encourages each member state to A. Adopt strong laws to prevent this problem, if affected by it, or if laws already have been adopted, to ensure that they are always respected by more intensive controls. B. Adopt their own country's definition of cultural goods in order to efficiently take measures against violations of these sets. C. Make the country's inventory of cultural goods in order to help enable international organizations, such as International Criminal Police Organization, Interpol, to investigate the illicit international trafficking. D. Specify the categories of all cultural objects to be traded, and which ways in order to I. Make sure trades may happen only with the supervision of international cultural authorities. I. State specifically the rules of permanent or temporary trade, and list objects of permanent or temporary trade. 5. Invites all members of the states to strengthen their border control in order to supervise better and prevent illicit trafficking in cultural heritage.
Thank you, Delegate. You can deliver your speech. Okay, so are you open to any kind of information?
No.
Okay, so can you just give the floor back to the chair?
I give the floor back to the chair.
Thank you. So, is there in the House any delegate wishing to speak both in favor or against this resolution? Please raise your placard. Since none, the chair will proceed calling the delegate. Iceland, Japan, and Mauritius in that order. Just say your opinion on the topics, please. Just your opinion about the illicit trafficking of artistic heritage.
I represent the state of DELLA, and I am in favor.
Okay, are you open to any kind of information? Okay, so can you please give the floor back to the chair?
And the
Okay. Japan?
Sorry, I can speak English very well, and like
Is there any delegate wishing to speak both in favor or against this resolution? Onorevole Dario, you have the floor.
Honorable Chair, fellow delegates, the delegation of Azerbaijan is strongly against this resolution because there is no sense in this resolution. It's only a few of these four clauses, 5 clauses, that there is no signification. First, the online list of the cultural list or intellectual governors to identify trade of foreign goods. It's impossible because now we have a lot of technology and now we have the illicit traffic of cultural or artistic goods. So why vote this resolution? Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate. Are you open to any questions?
Yes.
Okay. Are there any else 2 points of explanation? Imagine you have to recognize.
Does the delegate agree that in this resolution there are concretely solutions to resolve this
Thank you, delegates. I agree. We agree with Belgium for this point. In fact, there is not a solution to fight the illicit traffic.
Thank you. Is there any else? Just 1 more point of explanation. India, you have the floor.
Does the delegation agree about the clause number 3?
What was the question?
Does the delegation agree with clause number 3?
Thank you, delegates. India. We don't agree with this clause because there is a lot of database now, and it's not to fight the illicit traffic. It's only to, in fact, to say to the people which artistic goods we have in the room.
Thank you, Delegate. Can you please give the floor back to the
I will go back to the chair.
Is there any else, any other delegate who can speak both in favor or against this resolution? Please raise the placard. Denmark, Sudan, and Chad is being recognized by the government.
Honorable Chair, distinguished delegates, Denmark does not approve this resolution because we find it is not clear in many points. As the delegate of Azerbaijan already said, for example, sub-clause B of the operative clause 4 does not specify how countries can prevent the violation of rules. So we simply invite the House to vote against this resolution. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate. Are you open to any further information?
Yes, I'm open to 2 points of information.
Are there any else 2 points of information? Sarah?
Does the delegation say that actually this resolution is incomplete?
Yes, I do. For example, we do. For example, also because the operative clause number 2 doesn't explain how to fund lectures at the secondary schools or who can make them.
Is there another point of information on the else? USA, okay, you recognize?
The delegate agree that using education to solve such a problem is an extreme measure.
Well, Denmark thinks that education would be really useful, but of course it is, as it's written in this resolution, it is not possible because it isn't explained how to do it.
Thank you, Delegate.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I give the floor back to you.
Sudan, you have the floor.
Honorable Chair, distinguished delegates, the delegation of Sudan doesn't approve this resolution. There are two crucial clauses. There are good ideas expressed on them, but they should be implemented with further clauses and more details. And also, we would like to highlight clause number 5. It lacks how the member states should strengthen their border control. There isn't expressed the body that should be in charge of the control. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate. Are you open to any questions or information?
I'm open to 2 points of information.
Okay. So are there any other 2 points of information? Seeing none, can you please give the floor back to
Yes, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Delegate. Now you have the floor.
The Republic of Chad is to some extent against this resolution. This resolution presents some interesting ideas in general, but it's quite weak. It lacks substance. It is. We don't know how we can call that resolution. It proposes very good ideas, but there needs some elaboration. For example, if we take into consideration clause number 3, which is about the promotion of an online stolen cultural property database, that is not a proper policy, particularly for countries that don't have an anti-hacking committee in their own country. If hackers get access to that database, it will imperil, to a large extent, the artistic heritage of the country. As far as clause 4 is concerned, adopting strong laws. But what laws should be adopted? What should the government do actually? What regulations should be implemented? Should it be like complex customs procedures, putting embargoes, imposing fines, providing penalties? It should have specified so that this resolution will be more meaningful. If we, for example, refer to subclause C of clause 4, there is the system of inventory, which is a good system of inventory. Who will do that system? Is it Interpol? Is it government? Will there be a regulated system of building up inventory? Will there be any leakage? Will there be any prejudice or bias towards how they do it? Interpol is not the perfect organization, and it's perhaps not even the government. Who will do that? It's very difficult. It's very difficult to count each single piece of an artistic heritage. And at the same time, in clause number 4, inviting all member states to strengthen the border control. In what ways can we strengthen the border control? Adopting regulations from World Customs Organization. It's not listed in here. This resolution is a very good resolution, but it lacks substance. And the Republic of Chad, we suggest you have to vote for the time being. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate. Are you open to any points of information?
Yes.
Okay, so are there any outstanding points of information? Yeah.
Does the delegate agree that this resolution is too simple and without any complete solution for this global problem?
It offers, thank you, Delegate. It offers concrete solutions, but yes, it is very weak as a resolution. When you just look at the ideas, they are concrete ideas. They are ideas that can help actually to prevent the illicit trafficking of artistic heritage. But it's just that they don't elaborate it as such. It's just something that we get everywhere. It's ideas that propose what you think about it. It's not like what should be implemented in the country. What should we do actually? It's not specific to some specific country. It's just in general what we can do.
Thank you.
Is there any other points of information? Okay, Jordan, you want to say?
the delegate aware that creating another organization typical for protecting the artistic heritage would be expensive?
Can you please rephrase your question and speak a little bit louder?
Is the delegate aware that creating another typical organization for protecting this illegal traffic of this artistic heritage would be expensive?
Well, we did not actually set up an additional organization. We already have the UNESCO present. It's just that we should offer more incentives to the UNESCO to get involved in each country. Each country should try to devote more attention to enable the UNESCO to bring its participation in the country. We don't need to create another committee. We already have a committee. It's just we need to strengthen the power of the committee. So,
okay, thank you. That is please Thank you. So, is there any else in the delegate which is to speak both against or in favor of this resolution? Thank you very much. And also no words.
Honorable Chair, fellow delegates, the delegation of Belgium is strongly against this resolution because in this document there aren't concretely solutions to resolve this topic. For example, in the clause number 1, how we can implement the internet control, and then what we can do. This resolution presents a few ideas, but they are too dispersive and it isn't clear, so we vote against this resolution. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate. Are you able to answer the question?
I know. I give the floor back to the chair.
Thank you. No way, you have the floor.
Honorable Chair, fellow delegates, Norway disagrees with the content of this resolution. We believe the arts is important and it's one of the smaller components of countries. But we also think there is no culture without people and no society without culture. Thanks.
Thank you, Delegate. Are you open to any consideration?
No, I'm not open.
Okay. Can you please give the floor back to you? Thank you. Are there any other delegates wishing to speak both in favor or against this resolution? If you are inconvinced of this resolution, please make an amendment so you can improve it. So, now, are there any delegates wishing to speak in favor or against? Raise your placard high. Chile, South Africa, and Uganda, you have the floor.
The delegation of Chile supports this topic, but not this resolution, because it's too vague and uncompleted. The delegation of Chile also agrees with the delegation of Sudan, because as the delegate has said before, it has no concrete solutions. Moreover, the delegation thinks that this resolution has good ideas, but for example, if we see clause 4, subclause D, it doesn't propose anything new. It just says that the cultural heritage must be controlled by some authority. So we invite you all to vote against this solution.
Thank you, Delegate. Are you open to any
No,
consideration? Okay, so can we the next speaker?
South Africa is against this resolution since South Africa believes that more complete solutions could have been developed. Taking into consideration clause number 1, control measures concerning the internet have not been well elaborated. Moreover, South Africa supports the UNESCO, which is in close collaboration with Interpol and the International Council on Migrants, which has some basic measures where member states can review and they are implemented by the Commission. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Delegate. Are you open to any consideration? So is there any one point of information? Since none, can you please hear the product speaker? The next speaker?
Honorable Chair, distinguished delegates, the delegation of Lithuania is against this resolution as well. We say that this resolution it has good ideas, as many other people said, but we see some details that we don't completely agree with. For example, clause number 2, subclause A, excludes the primary schools. And we think that both primary schools and secondary schools should be informed about these problems. Other details where not completely in agreement is clause number 5. It establishes to strengthen the border control, while the European Union is working on the opening of the borders and to take out the border controls. So we do like some of the ideas we have in this resolution, but we still disagree with most of it. So and we see it's not effective to be voted for. So we invite you to do the same and vote against this resolution.
Thank you, Delegate. Are you open to any positive information?
That's right.
Okay. Are there any also positive information? Mr. President, any rapid?
Thank you. That delegate agreed that the online stolen database is the same as Wikipedia.
Yeah. We agree. No, we don't agree because Wikipedia has information that is not sure. Whether there could be an online stolen cultural property database, it maybe should have some real fundaments.
Definitely agree that maybe also with some amendments, the resolution would not be complete because it should be reorganized and reorganized to be approved.
We actually don't agree with that because it still has some ideas, and we will say that forever. But even if we need a lot of amendments to make this, we could do a real resolution that works. Still, we're voting against this resolution, but I'm kind of saying that it had some good ideas, so it was a good attempt to us.
Thank you, Delegate. Are there any other points of information? USA, Bosnia and Herzegovina, and South Africa, you've been recognized in that order.
Okay. Do you think that it's a little bit too extreme to give lectures to primary schools?
No, we don't think that's too extreme because even children from primary schools must know those problems they will face one day. Maybe it won't be the same level of lectures that we get into the secondary school. It will be easier or different as we have a different age in that school. So, but still, we think they must know this.
Thank you.
Does the delegate agree that clause number 5 of this resolution isn't right a practical way to control the border line of the state?
Yeah, we agree with that. It doesn't have a practical idea of how to control the borders. The only control borders I have in mind, as I haven't been myself outside of, the only border control we have in mind is the one that we get on the airports. For example, on the road, we don't have anymore any controls inside the European Union.
Can the delegate propose solutions concerning close number one? That is, the use of internet for the sale of artistic goods?
Point of personal information.
Your question?
Can the delegate propose solutions concerning close number one? That is, the use of internet for the sale of artistic goods?
Well, the delegation of Lithuania is hoping to be able to get solutions to problem number one. Also because internet is media control and could not be controlled completely. So it's we think also that problem number one is pretty much a dream-like idea to be solved, but it is not possible in real life.
Thank you. So can you please give the floor back to the chair? So the chair received an amendment from Argentina. Argentina, you have the floor.
Madam Chair, the delegation of Argentina totally agrees with the other delegation that has said that this resolution is a good one for those ideas. But there are some points that should be changed or even scrapped. We think that the point one, to control internet in order to identify the base of stolen goods, should be straight or even changed because there's no sense in it. Firstly, we cannot control internet all of the sites then, because we don't think that hackers would like to be discovered. So they think good to not be discovered. And we think that this point should be straight. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate. Are you open to any points of information?
Yes.
Okay, so are there any outstanding points of information? Danny and Sudan, next to recognize.
Thank you, Chair. Is a delegate aware that it's impossible to, with some amendment, render this resolution possible to vote in favor because this is useless and there are too much amendment to do to render it better.
Yes, as I said before, there are so many points that should be changed or struck in this amendment.
Yeah.
Is the delegate aware that by collaborating with internet platforms and with international legislation, it is actually possible to control the illicit trafficking on the internet?
Yes, but you can control for a bit of time. You can't control all the time. It will happen again.
Are there any other points of information? Anybody else? Since not, can you please give the floor back to the chair?
I will throw back to
Thank you. So, are there any delegates wishing to speak both in favor or against this amendment? Please raise your placard. Okay, so the admins. Okay, so we continue discussing this amendment. All the delegates wishing to speak both in favor or against this amendment, please raise your placard. Denmark and Australia, you have the floor of the order.
Honorable Chair, distinguished delegates, the delegation of Denmark doesn't believe that striking this operative clause will improve this resolution. For example, it would be more useful to change it because anyway, internet control is actually needed. So striking this operative clause, we're simply removing one of the maybe one of the best points of this resolution, one of the most interesting points. Of course, anyway, if there's this operative clause or there isn't, it won't change actually.
Thank you, Delegate. Are you open for the continuing information?
Yes, I'm open to 2 points of information.
Are there in the also 2 points of information? Please, Madam, can you please give the floor to your
I use the floor back. We think that internet control is needed, so we can simply make an amendment. So I just suggest you to do it. And in order to implement this operative clause, for example, we can just create a new organization that can check all sites. Of course, this is difficult, but with improvements in the technologies, it is possible.
Thank you. Is there in the out one more point of information? Rebecca?
Is the delegate aware that a database or an instrument control exists now?
Yes, I am, and for we are. And for this reason, we think that it is possible to control the internet exactly because a database already exists, so you can more easily control it because it is already created.
Thank you, Delegate. Can you please give the floor back to you?
I defer back to the chair.
Yeah. So is there in the house one more speaker wishing to speak both in favor or against this amendment? Okay, Sudan, you have the floor.
Honorable Chair, esteemed fellow delegates, Sudan doesn't believe that striking clause number 1 could make such difference. It should be modified instead, specifying how the delegation of Mexico intends to control the internet, collaborating, as I previously said, for example, with internet platforms, with Interpol or national courts. So, to summarize that, we are against this amendment. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Delegate. Are you open for point of information?
I'm open to any point of information.
Are there in the house points of information? Please, now can you please give the floor back to the chair? Thank you. There are none objections, right? Perfect. So, admin, please secure yours and stop the typing notes. I remind you that abstentions are not in order. So, all the delegates in favor of this amendment, please raise your placard high. Opposers again. Okay, so with a clear majority, this amendment hasn't passed, so flag is not in order. So, to receive another amendment from Chad. So Chad, you have the floor.
Chad would like to make an amendment to the first clause which is about internet control of the illicit trafficking of cultural heritage, or our civic heritage, sorry. And here we want to try to prevent unscrupulous people from getting access to the artistic heritage of the country. For example, if this were to be found in the hands of terrorists, it wouldn't be good for the cultural identity of the country. So perhaps setting up an anti-hacking committee will help to prevent hackers to get into that online database and get access to everything about the artistic heritage of the country. That's the amendment to the first operating clause.
Thank you, Delegate. Are you open to any points of information?
Yes.
Are there any else any points of information? Okay. Let's hear the next one.
In full developing countries, usually they don't have good internet access. So perhaps first the Minister of the country for Information and Communications Technology will try to develop and expand internet service throughout the whole country first. But then in those countries where there is no such internet access, Chad doesn't really think that the illicit trafficking of cultural heritage online is done to a large extent. In countries where they don't have internet, they won't actually be trafficking to a large extent the cultural heritage of the country. So it isn't a big problem for the developing countries. But for the advanced nations, perhaps they have more access to the internet. Internet is everywhere, so it will be a problem for these countries. Particularly these countries who are mostly involved in conflicts nowadays. So we need to prepare ourselves for that.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other points of information? Okay, since now can you please let us go back to So, are there any valid decisions to speak both against or in favor of this resolution? Amendment, sorry. Are there any outstanding delegates wishing to speak both in favor or against this amendment? Are there any objections? No. Okay, so we're now moving to vote. So as with the separate vote, let's start casting votes. All the delegates abstentions are not in order. So all delegates wishing to vote in favor of this amendment, please raise your placard. Admin, are you counting? All those against? So I clearly majority of these amendments passed, so clap is in order. So we received an amendment from Lithuania. So Lithuania, you have the floor.
Honorable Chair, distinguished delegates, we suggest to strike, we present an amendment to strike clause number 5 as we consider this clause very difficult to do in the nowadays world, particularly in the nowadays European Union, and we think that a possible alternative to this clause would be a complete clause that must be completely different in structure.
Thank you, delegates. Are you open to information? Okay, so are there any other points of information? CAR and Benny is being recognized in that order.
Just if the delegate aware that it's possible only to modify this clause and not to strike.
Yeah, I'm aware of that, but I think that this clause, as I said before, must be completely differently written, so I don't think it's possible to modify it instead of remake it.
Is the delegate aware that send an amendment and try to modify this resolution is useless, and now they're wasting our time talking about the solution which hasn't a sense?
Remain in order.
Yeah, I'm aware of that. But I'm trying to do my best to
make this resolution somehow be acceptable.
Thank you, delegates. Can you please give the floor back to the chair?
I give the floor back to the chair.
Are there any delegates wishing to speak in favor or against this amendment? Please raise your appropriate sign. So let's again start the up the floor.
Trouble is that this amendment will not actually work for the world. The delegates spoke of the European Union. Yeah. Applying a new committee or whatever would be good for the European Union, the Eurozone, a political union such as the USA. But what about African continent? What about Asian continent? What about South American continent? All countries, they are not in the Eurozone, they are not in the European Union. It's true, it will work for the European Union. But what about those countries that are independent from each other? Actually, we should try to promote more customs procedures within each country, having customs officers at each border of the country. And we need to have more efficient customs officers by having training programs by the World Customs Organization. And we train these officers and to indicate them what they should do, what their job is all about, why they shouldn't be accepting bribes, which is very often the case in many African countries. They should be told how to behave really as customs officers and prevent that in the The amendment is good. It applies only to the European Union and political unions. It doesn't apply to the rest of the world. So, shall invites all delegates to vote against this amendment.
Thank you, delegates. Are you open for any point of information?
Yes.
Are there any other point of information?
The delegate agrees that this resolution needs more clause and strike these clauses. It's reduced this resolution.
Yes, it's not about only clause 5. Every clause of this resolution requires an amendment. And if you want to pass amendments to each one of them, it will really take a long time. I think we already passed the resolution on the illicit trafficking of cultural heritage this morning. So, this is a good resolution that we have to accept right here. We don't want to go into elaboration further. There are so many elaborations for the
Thank you, delegate. Are there any other points of information? No. Uganda?
Does the delegate agree that we should make this clause a better one instead of striking it, because we can't strike every single clause of this resolution?
Yes, of course. In fact, if we just try to follow the words of that UNESCO representative, we are going to change the world. So amending each of these clauses or striking them wouldn't be the best policy right now. It's not about changing each one of them. They are so good when I look at them. But then they are broken.
Okay. Thank you, delegate. Thank you. So that's how you have to close.
Thank you, Chair. South Africa is against this amendment to some extent. Stronger borders control can contribute to positive outcomes, but however, the existence of political and lack of resources can negatively affect this proposed solution. Therefore, South Africa proposes member states to review the solution and join hands together to improve it. Thank you.
Thank you.
1 point.
Okay. So is there any else 1 point information? Okay, since none, can you please give the floor back to you? Thank you.
Second.
Is there any objection? Okay, since none, we are now voting, so please admins will secure the door and stop passing notes. Now, abstentions are not in order. So all the delegates wishing to vote in favor of this amendment, please raise your placard. Okay, all those against. Okay, we have clear majority, this amendment as a that is not in order. Okay, so we're receiving another amendment. It's the last amendment. Chad, you have the floor. Okay, so the delegation of South decided not to propose it. So, are there any delegates wishing to speak?
Second.
Are there any objections? Okay, so the delegates go and secure the doors. Pass it over. In order. And abstention are in order. So all the delegates wishing to vote in favor of this resolution, please raise your placard. All those against. Okay, you can vote. Abstentions. Okay, so with a clear majority, this resolution has been passed, so clock is not in order. Okay, now the Secretary General is coming, so we're waiting for him.
Are you voting? Okay, that's awesome. We have a problem. We have an important issue that will interrupt every speech and every voting procedure. Every resolution that's been sent will be debated later. Now we have an important matter, and this is a crisis situation, and you guys will solve this problem right now with lobbying and a closed debating session. So I'm going to let the admins distribute these papers. They're extracts from today's New York Times, and please be as quick as you can. And I will ask the delegate is there any volunteer who wishes to read out the article? Please, volunteer. Any volunteer wishes to read it? Okay, so Haiti, you've been recognized. Please take one paper, give a paper as soon as you can to Haiti. This is very important. There will be some copies more than how many are necessary. So please, as soon as you finish distributing them to the delegates, give one to me and one to each of the chairs. Haiti, please come here and read the article. Thank you. I give the floor to the delegate of Haiti.
Thank you. Havana. John Johnson, the Minister of Sanity in Cuba, just confirmed that the millions spent by the government in Cuba on medical systems are well spent money. A researcher whose identity is unknown yet discovered how to cure cancer. Finally, maybe he could be spared by this disease, or maybe not. The problem, in fact, is that Cuba doesn't want to share the cure with the rest of the world. The government already stated that such important things will not be given into the hands of the other capitalistic countries, as the Prime Minister Franco Castro said. The fact is that they want to keep this secret to anyone. There is a cure, it is official, and they don't want to share it, it's official. Can you imagine a world without this deadly disease? Can you imagine how many lives will be spared? Well, now imagine a world where just a selfish country as Cuba can enjoy the benefits of this discovery.
Thank you very much, Delegate. You can take your seat.
As you've read, as you've heard, Cuba found out how to cure cancer. This is a huge scientific discovery, and they don't want to share it with the rest of the world. Is there a delegate of Cuba here? Okay, so you are the first person that will have to explain to the others what's happening. It's a crisis situation. You probably did not know this because it's today's newspaper. This newspaper is an American newspaper, so you can see and read the American mentality, okay? So it's just a selfish country and so on. Right now, you will have a time of 30 minutes of lobbying where you can move around the room and speak always English. Bear in mind that there are people that don't speak Italian, so do never speak Italian. Always speak English, even if you are speaking with an Italian person. As I said, you'll go through a lobbying session, and you have to build up a resolution right now, solving this problem. What we want, obviously, is that Cuba reveals the secret and tells everyone how to solve this problem and how to cure a disease like cancer. So, you have to find a solution right now. You have to write clauses, not by yourself. You can work in groups. You have to move, find people who have your same ideas, and write clauses. Every single clause to be submitted to the chair has to have 11 signatures. So, no less than 11 signatures. You have to write them down on a piece of paper, and as soon as you have 11 signatures, give them to the chairs, because they will select the best one, and you will discuss clause by clause the resolution. You'll build the resolution right now. So now you're free to stand up, move around the room, speak to yourself, and try to find a solution. Please give the delegate of Cuba. She will not stand there speaking all the time. She probably wants something in exchange, or I don't know what. Maybe she will just be selfish and she will not share the solution. Now, please, we have the delegate of Cuba here. The delegate of Cuba, please approach the podium. Now, you can move and see and find the solution. Thank you.
It's not a problem. Let me try. Yeah, put some. We got a resolution on this.
You have a right to find the name of your country and also the name of your
Dove siamo?
Ho capito in italiano, se mi toccate i trattieni, ora che sei vicinissimo.